Active contour without edge and watershed for follicle detection in ultrasound image of ovary. Presented by Eliyani. Some patients want to have children and consult with a doctor or gynecologist. Usually, doctor or gynecologist will monitor the ovary condition. In the ovary, follicle monitor for follicular development is a well-coordinated follicle recruitment process, growth, and finally, selecting of one dominant follicle for maturation and ovulation. The follicle produces the estrogen hormone is needed in the development of the ovum. Therefore, monitoring the follicle in the ovary is very important for women. This study proposed a computational model for the detection of follicle of various sizes. This is the figure is an example of patient data used in this study. It shows the number of follicles found in the right ovary and left ovary. Literature. Sitowaran and Malacordi using object drawing. Performance. Recognition rate is 84.04%. Kumar and Srinivasan using improved chest change with split fragment optimization. Performance. Dice coefficient is 0.8772. Padmapriya and Kesavamurthy using morphological operation. Performs. Recognized rate is 87.5%. Saraya and Maheswari using modification of Otsu thresholding and adaptive partial swarm optimization. Prasanna Kumar using active contour. Varagi et al. Using active contour. Active contour segmentation has been a hot subject throughout the year. Many algorithms have spurred up with enhanced performance and advanced capabilities. Problem. Some researchers have conducted ultrasound image preprocessing to produce a segmentation of ovarian follicle with increased accuracy. There are semi-automatic and automatic segmentation, and the automatic segmentation process has successfully carried off even if the value of the follicle detection accuracy is still low. Other research has increased the accuracy of follicle detection, but has not calculated the number and diameter of follicle. Calculation of the number and diameter of follicle is beneficial for medical experts to diagnose patients correctly. Method. The study used ultrasound images of the ovary that have been validated by doctor or gynecologist. The data in this study used an image of 100 ovarian ultrasound results in the Sakina Idaman Hospital, Yogyakarta, Indonesia. Preprocessing of the initial stage carried before the image is processed serves to improve the image quality to produce better features for the next stage. This research will use adaptive median filtering for reduced speckle noise. Segmentation method using active contour without edge and watershed. Filter interaction used in this study are area, perimeter, centroid, rawness, follicle detection, and result is number of follicle. This is the method of the segmentation using active contour without edge. Important to distinguish the model and the representation. Model, describing problem from the real world with equation. Representation, type of the description. Optimization, solving the equation. The model is based on trying to separate the image into regions based on intensities. C1 and C2 are the average intensity level inside and outside of the contour. Watershed segmentation. Topographic interpretation, point viewing the regional minimum, catchment basin, the white line or watershed line. Main aim is to find out watershed line, punch the regional minimum, and float the entire topography at uniform rate from below. Dam is built to prevent the rising water of different catchment basin to merge on. This is a watershed transform, and this is the dam. Result, follicle detection. The proposed segmentation method provides an automatic method using active contour without edge and watershed segmentation. Active contour without edge is done by beginning to determine the initial marks using the separate object from the background image. Opening and closing method used after determining the string on all experimental image. Watershed segmentation is done by hopping the spirit to a tighter follicle so that the calculation of the number of follicles is accurate. Feature interactions used in this study are area, perimeter, centroid, roughness. The final result of the calculation of follicle in this study will be colored yellow. In this picture, there is a follicle detection. A. Original ultrasound image. B. Iteration image during the segmentation process. C. Segmented image. And D. Follicle calculation result. Active contour without edge and watershed for follicle detection in ultrasound image of ovary. Eliyani presentation for International Conference on Advanced Computer Science and Information System 2020. This is an iteration for segmentation. Calculate follicle 2, this follicle, and this one follicle. There is 2 follicle detection. Active contour without edge segmentation use a maximum number of iterations of 200 to get the p-value using Euclidean distance. Watershed will calculate the local minimal distance and remove the small local minima and modify it so that there is only one minimum in a particular area. The segmentation method used on 100 ultrasound image of the ovary from Sakina Idaman Hospital, Yogyakarta, Indonesia. The automatic segmentation result for 100 ultrasound image of the ovary success in detecting follicle according to the number of follicle the physical calculate. Ovarian ultrasound images that contain follicle attachments are recognized by the Watershed transformation algorithm using marker generated from each object throughout a thresholding process to the result distance transform. This study utilized the average value of the follicle object area to find the appropriate threshold value so that the marker obtained have the same number of follicle objects attached to it so that the determination of the threshold value does not need to manually. This study utilized the maximum area value of the follicular object in the dataset. The maximum area value are called area boundary constant. Objects that have an area value greater than a constant area boundary are considered attached follicle. The Watershed transformation algorithm will be applied to the attached follicle object so that it will speed up the computation process compared to the application of the Watershed transformation algorithm for all follicles. The distance transfer operation used on the attached follicle object and then the thresholding operation is carried out with the initial threshold value. Watershed has the advantage to being able to detect joint objects, so it can recognize if there are follicles attached without having to separate follicle. This research success in detecting the number of follicles according to expert doctor calculation. Further research aspect capable of measure the size of each follicle for each ultrasound image. Thank you very much for your attention.